אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי. אלוהי, אלוהי, נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. נשמת כל תברך
and stand for Matovu, a way to welcome each other. So I think one of our teachers, Zoe, will ensure that percussion instruments are here for us from the family room. So let's stay standing as we go into Matovu as a way to welcome each other. We are Shabbat B'Yachad Siddur, not Risol, that would be odd. And Shabbat B'Yachad Siddur. We are beginning on page 4, welcoming all those of you who are at home, who are transforming your living room, your kitchen into a place to pray as you join us. And let us begin. So let's sit down. Zoe, I'm calling on you to welcome us into our service. In a moment, percussion instruments will be bought. If I can ask some of our teachers to nip into the family room and find percussion ready to give all our young people. Zoe, would you like to hop up to a microphone to introduce us to the theme of this morning's service?
People at home and grown-ups, feel free to follow these instructions too. Put your hand up this morning if you have been learning about Israel. And grown-ups should, if you've read an article, feel free to join in. Okay, put your hand up if you learnt about the geography of Israel. If you learnt about where places are. Put your hand up if you learn about the people of Israel. Some of you did that.
There's a lot of learning in the B'nai Mitzvah group.
Yeah, your hands could just stay up. Put your hand up if you learnt something you had never heard before. Someone told you something brand new. Interesting. Okay, so we have been learning about Israel, and I can see that Daled Hay have not got their hands up because they did a whole term of Israel. They are old hats at this last term. So I'm going to ask my 3 festival explorers to bring up their maps, please. Can you bring up your maps? Because not everyone will know what Israel looks like, but my 3 festival explorers are very knowledgeable. They have made their own map of Israel, so hopefully they can come up onto the beamer and show them. Mummies and daddies can definitely come up too, if that would help. Brilliant.
Oh wow, Jonah. Knew we could rely on you.
So, this is a map of Israel that smells nice. So each of these things that have been painted on the different areas of Israel are different different spices and herbs. So you can see that at the top it's nice and green. We've got the desert at the bottom, the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, and our big cities here. So our teachers from Daled Hay have had a great time learning about each of these cities. So I'm going to ask them to come up. That's Maya, and Alex, to come up and tell us one fact, one place that they have learnt about. It might be on this map and why they liked teaching it. So Maya, and Alex.
You can stay.
Yeah.
Boys, you can stay. Oh wow, you've even got the names of the places.
One place we went to was Haifa, which I really enjoyed teaching. It was really interesting to learn how, it's there on the,
Use the microphone a bit.
just in the north. It was really interesting to see how Judaism kind of works alongside loads of other different religions.
We also took a trip to Jerusalem and we visited the marketplace there, and that was really cool because we got the classroom all decorated and we kind of made our own little market, sold some things for some shekels, and it was really nice to see all of the kids like haggling for some items. So yeah, it was great.
What did they haggle for? What did they buy, Alex?
There was all sorts. There was some toys. There was some chocolate.
Hummus?
I don't think hummus.
There were some spices.
Yeah, there were some spices.
I like teaching about the Dead Sea. I thought that was really fun. Yeah, I found it very good. I thought it was really interesting to learn about the history of it and of the tours that were found there. It's really, really great.
Thank you.
I think that warrants a blessing of Torah study, which we're going to offer. And just before we offer, some of you have been hearing about LJY Netzer tours and camps. And I should say that Alex and Maya, who you just heard, will be going to Israel with LJY Netzer, that offer a really interesting, reflective, thoughtful tour of Israel that allow our kids to really learn properly about the land. And Alex and Maya will be going, and our kiddush today will be full of falafel and hummus and pita, which we won't make you haggle for. So it's worth staying for. Let's sing for Torah study.
Baruch atah Adonai במצוותיו וציוונו לעשות בדברי תורה, לעשות בדברי תורה.
Thanks, George. Page 6. Page 6, top of page 6, is a line from the Mishnah. The Mishnah is the first piece of Jewish learning that was written in the Common Era, so probably about 200. And in it are lots of really helpful ways to try to live our life. Thank you, Dean. And This line really is so true for us in a synagogue, for us as we navigate being Jewish, how much learning, for us as we try and make the world a better place, do all that we can. It is not your responsibility to finish the work, but neither are you free to not try at all. Should we go to Yismachu, page 7, or Kol
Yeah.
Ha'olam Kulo? Yeah?
Yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my
Page
my,
7.
my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my. Yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my. Yismachu hashamayim, v'kagel haaretz, yiram hayam. Yismachu hashamayim, v'kagel haaretz, yiram hayam. Yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my, yama my 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 my.
Let's stand. We've warmed each other up. We've welcomed each other. We're going to go to the Baruchu, and as those who are leading the Baruchu, I think Dalet and Hay are going to introduce to come up here. Dean will offer Yishtabach to allow us to transition.
Yishtabach Shimcha Lad Malkeinu, Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VaHaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Ki Lecha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei Avoteinu, Shir U'Shvacha Halel V'Zimra, Brachot V'Hodaot Me'ata Ve'ad Olam. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'shirei zimra. La 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 la
The Barahu is about praising God forever and ever. This message gives me mixed feelings. I think we should praise God, but it shouldn't be our duty to, and we should only have to when we want to or feel like it.
It makes me think of the dark places like woods and forests. The meaning makes me feel puzzled and confused. I liked it the bit with the lyrics after the lie, lie, lie.
Brilliant. I love an explanation and a critique of prayer at the same time. So I'm going to ask you to stay standing as we move straight to the Shema. We pass the two blessings as we offer appreciation of light, the passing of seasons, and move into the one of love, of our experience of being loved and loving.
First line. Okay. Both first.
So the Shema's about like listening and love and truly like the best things about life. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Avuton Le'alam Baruch Shem Kavod Avuton Le'alam Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Avuton Le'alam
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתן לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
I did not take my book. So we affirm that the Shema is something we can rely on, believe its words are true with the Hebrew word emet as we go into Micha Mocha. Let's sit down.
Micha Mocha Ba'eli
song. Every week we offer something new. The redeemed sang to your name at the shore of the sea. With one accord they gave thanks and proclaimed your sovereignty.
Adonai Imlo Leolam Va'ed Zu Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Mo Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Mo Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Na'al Yisrael.
So let's stand for the tefillah. Get ready to make some noise. This is the prayer, I love reminding, that replaced animal sacrifice in the temple. So I'm sure you're all pleased. You're just offering a few songs rather than slaughtering an animal when you go to synagogue on a Shabbat morning. So we're going to offer song before the first paragraph, where we think of our ancestors, of those that might have been perplexed, dismayed, proud to see us standing here in synagogue this morning.
Ufi Agib Tehilatecha
Nice. Page 16. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon. Gomel Hasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol. V'Zocher Hastei Avot v'Imahot. ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ביחווה, מלך עוזר ומושיע מגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, עזרת שרה. אתה גיבור, לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש, ומוריד הטל.
מקלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים רחמים רבים, צומח נופלים רבי חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו Ishenei Apar Vichamocha Mal Gevurot Umidomelach Melech Meini Umachayeh Umatzliach
Atala hachayot metim baruch atah Adonai machayeh hametim. And we go straight to, as we think of what's holy in our lives, or what feels good, or what we choose to pass on from generation to generation, we go to the foot of page 18, where we sing Le Dor Vador, from generation to generation.
Dovador, le Dovador, le Dovador, nagid God lecha, ule netzach netzachim, ule netzach netzachim, kedushat chanadish. Le Dovador, le Dovador, le Dovador, nagid God lecha, Ule netzach netzachim, ule netzach netzachim, kedushat chanadish. V'shemata Eloheinu, yipilu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Ki el melech gadol, ki el melech gadol, hakadosh baruch hu. Dovador, le Dovador, le Dovador, nagid God lecha, ule netzach netzachim, ule netzach netzachim, kedushat chanadish.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Let's sit down. Tell me what today is. Not a trick question. Let's just check everyone's been paying attention. Where are you? What is today? Lilibeth. Saturday, which is where we talk about Saturday in our Jewish lives. What is today? Did you say Shabbat? I heard you say Shabbat. You're right, Shabbat. And we're in synagogue and we are celebrating Shabbat together. So let us sing together, Yismachu, top of page 19. Be as loud as you can as we really mark that we are here for Shabbat together.
Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Mekadashei sheli Shabbat. Kulam yisma'u v'yiftanhu mituvecha Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidasho Shabbat. Emdat yamim bo karata Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutacha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Ze'el l'maseh Shabbat Yismachu B'Malachut Achad Shomrei Shabbat V'Torei Onei Shabbat Yismachu B'Malachut Achad Shomrei Shabbat V'Torei Onei Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Makadesh HaShabbat. Lots of appreciation on the front row for you, Dean, today, I'm seeing. So, top of page 20 just allows us to really hope that we have been ameliorated, that we've benefited from praying together. Let's read together in English. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. And now, just before I offer Modim Anachnu Lach, just an opportunity for anyone to share something they feel grateful for this morning. Modim is from the word todah, thanks. Modeh ani, I give thanks. So let me just pause. Anyone feel like they're feeling grateful this morning for someone or something? Or yes, Iris.
I want to say thank you for last night's service, which was especially inclusive service, and it was wonderful.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Lauren, and everybody and everybody.
So Iris is offering gratitude to Zoe and to Beverly and to Alison that put together our wonderful inclusive service last night. So that was last night. Anyone else? Anyone else? Something to feel grateful for this morning? Cordelia. Nice. Cordelia's grateful we're all here on Shabbat together. Thank you. Did you have a bamba before you came in? Well, you didn't even get a bamba. George, did you share the bambas? Or?
I only had 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Bamba from Israel. Sam.
It's warm.
Warm. Weather. Agree with you. Weather. Lilybet. So Lilybet's talking about the Fox family in the car park of the synagogue, and you saw the adult and the baby outside. In the garden, not the car park, in the garden. Lovely. Anyone else? Anyone else something they're feeling grateful for? I'm very grateful for David and Michael, as always, helping us with our tech and ensuring that you at home are with us and that we here are with you. Shall we offer Modim? Are we ready? Zoe, you got something you want to be grateful?
Our selection of musicians.
Nice, nice. So Dean and Natasha and Sam, I am very grateful for them. And Sam, you just surprised us with your guitar this morning, so that was even better. So let's read together. Mandy's grateful for cousins in Liverpool, going to see them tomorrow. Let's read. We're on the middle of page 20. Read the Hebrew, read the transliteration, read the English, as you choose. Modim anachnu lach she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur hayenu, magen yishenu, ata hu l'dor v'dor. Nodeh lecha nsapeh tehilatecha, al hayenu hamsurim biyadecha, v'al nishmotenu hapakudot lach. V'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, v'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol eit erev v'voker v'tzoharayim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulacha na'eh lohodot. So let's offer our morning prayer for peace, as we have been doing these last over 60 days, thinking of the war in Ukraine. And I think this morning, as we've been learning about Israel, we also add Israel and their hopes and dreams to work well with their neighbors, to share their land with all the inhabitants of those who live there, for Israelis and Palestinians to feel a sense of ease and peace together. Let us offer Sim Shalom.
Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Chen v'chesed b'rachamim Chen v'chesed b'rachamim Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Amecha Sim Shalom Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha
We praise you, O God, the source of peace. So this is our moment to take a few minutes of silence to just think about the warmth of the weather, think about how prayers make us feel, as Theo helped us imagine, just to take a few moments for ourselves before Dalit and Hay come and introduce Oseh Shalom.
Ratzon Irefi Ve'egon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Ve'goali Adonai Tzuri Ve'goali Uleratzon Irefi Ve'egon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Ve'egon bergoali.
You're going to introduce Oseh Shalom before we sing it.
I think I'll say
Hold
Shalom
on.
is a...
I think when each of you are speaking, you stand closer to the microphone. So sorry, I swapped you around, Charlie and Lilibet. That was not helpful. So just lean forward into the microphone.
I think I'll say Shalom is about bringing peace to the world and everybody who lives on Earth, and also all of the entire galaxy.
I love it. Peace for the entire galaxy.
I think
Charlie.
it's about being kind to others and being exclusive.
Inclusive.
And giving smiles to others and helping people who are struggling and helping people who are less fortunate than you.
Wonderful.
I like it because it brings hope that there could be peace all around the world.
Wonderful. Thank you, Charlie and Lilibet. So now let's really offer Oseh Shalom with all the kavanah, meaning spiritual direction that we can muster.
1, 2, 3. Oseh Shalom Bibroma, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Bnei Adam. Oseh Shalom Bibroma, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Bnei Adam. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
We now go to Kriyat HaTorah, to the Torah reading. We're on page 22. This is the heart of our service. Next Shabbat, it will be Toby that will be leading. Toby's looking surprised, but he does know it's his bar mitzvah next weekend. Toby will be reading Torah, will be explaining and blessing, and will be part of the whole Torah service. And so in anticipation, we've asked Toby's dad and grandpa to come and open the ark. I think you might be offered a talit at the back there by Sarah before you come. Toby, you want to help them up on the bima? No? You want to wait for next week? Let's have a couple of kids up here too to help us with undressing the Torah. So we say, I'm going to ask us all to stand. In days to come, the mountains of God's house will be established as the highest mountain, towering above the hills, and all the nations shall stream to it. Many peoples will go and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Eternal One, to the house of the God of Jacob, so that we may learn God's ways and walk in God's paths.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Udva Adonai miYerushalayim.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu l'Adonai iti onoramama shemo yachdav.
Lecha Adonai, Hagdula v'Hagvura, v'Hatiferet v'Hanitzach v'Ha'od, Ki kol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, Lecha Adonai,
squeeze behind Dean. Fantastic. Phoebe, you want to put that on the table? Now you okay to just pop it on the table. You. So David and Howard, you can stay up there. You can come back down. You can get used to being on the bima. In fact, you can stay here from now until next Shabbat if you need to be in the mood for Toby's bar mitzvah. So, but everyone else, you can sit down. We'll let them decide. So I love this, that we bring the Torah right down. How's this microphone working? Is it on? Yeah? Okay. So that we literally bring the Torah. What is that called where the Torah lives? Sam, thank you, the ark, but it's a different kind of ark than the one the animals lived in the book of Genesis. So we're bringing the Torah scroll down now. As we've been doing the last couple of months, I am going to ask a couple of questions for our Aliyot LaTorah, for those coming up to bless the Torah, to see if you are included in, and I'll translate it from Hebrew to English. But for now, I'm going to tell you. We are in the third book of the Torah. Real big bonus. There'll be something so delicious for you at Kiddush if you get this right. The third book of the Torah. Even you, John. There'll be an extra Diet Coke or a very strong coffee for you. Toby. Toby looked like you might be, say it louder, Leviticus. Thank you very much. Toby now gets the prize. So we are in the book of Leviticus in Parshat Emor. This parsha, we're reading a really short piece, tells us about the day that happens every 7 days, the reason why we're in the synagogue. What's that called? Shabbat. It also tells us, the bit we're going to read, about another festival. This is a festival we've just had, where we start with the Seder. It lasts for 7 days for us. We eat matzah. What's this festival called that I'm talking about? Passover in English, and what would the Hebrew word be? Pesach. So, we all have a task today when I read Torah, that you have to listen out for these Hebrew words. And I really want you to stop me, like literally any way that you can, buzz or put your hand up. If you hear the word Shabbat, if you hear the word Pesach, if you hear the word matzah, or what would plural of matzah be? Matzot. Matzot. So matzah or matzot, Pesach, Shabbat, and we are encouraged, and we talked about this last night, not to work on Shabbat. Now I know it's kind of weird because you've got teachers that are working this morning, maybe musicians and rabbis that are working this morning, maybe even you feel when you come into Ivriya and pick up your pencils or switch on your brain, you're working. But we kind of think that this is different kind of work. But the Hebrew words for work are said you can't work. You can't go into your office. You can't do things that feel really like that you really don't want to do. However, we in Liberal Judaism know since the beginning of Liberal Judaism, which is 120 years old this year, that there are people that have to work on Shabbat. So we work around it. Lily Montagu, who was one of the founders of liberal Judaism, decided, what about all the young women that work in the department stores in the West End of London? And department stores only used to be open Saturday mornings. What about them? They can never go to synagogue. So what do you think she did? What kind of service did she create? Have a guess. She didn't make a service inside the department store. She offered an afternoon service to work around the idea that you couldn't work on Shabbat. And I think we really get it, that sometimes life gets in the way and it's still possible to find ways to make things feel special. And hopefully we've managed to do that here. So listen out for the Hebrew words for work. Avodah and malacha. Okay? So let me remind you. Shabbat, matzah or matzot. Pesach, avodah or malacha. Okay? Right. So my first aliyah LaTorah is going to be Ya'amod or Ya'amdu, Kol Shei Asu or Garu Ba'aretz, B'Yisrael. Everyone who's ever been to Israel or lived in Israel, come up ready to bless the Torah. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to make the next one a much harder question to get right. Come on up, everyone. Have I got the Torah blessing? Torah blessing here. Very good. Oh, wow. Okay. This is kind of full, isn't it? Hands up those of you who've lived in Israel. That's what I should have done. Okay. Great. Where's John? He must be here too. John, there. Very good. Okay, are we ready? Monty, fantastic. You didn't meet Miriam in Israel, did you? No, you met her here.
I met her in a cafe. I went into that cafe, one look. I went back to that cafe a week later to see if I could date her.
And you know what? It worked, didn't it?
For 67 years.
It worked. I know. Okay.
It's still working.
I know. She is your girl, as you say. Right. Are we ready? Achad, shtayim, shalosh. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Alice, will you just hold for me? Okay, ready to listen for the words? V'yadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el b'nei Yisrael va'amata eleihem. Moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otam mikra'e kodesh. Elehem moadai. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh malacha. Thank you, Maya. You're definitely paying attention. There's malacha. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat.
Yay.
Great. Shabbaton. Mikra kodesh. Kol malacha.
Yep.
Lo ta'asu. Shabbat hu ladonai b'chol moshvetem. Okay, let's stop here. Let's do the closing blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Before you go down, I forgot to translate. So God speaks to Moses saying, speak to all the children of Israel and tell them, these are going to be my special times that you need to tell them all. And these times are going to be holy gatherings. and these holy gatherings are going to be for me. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day it shall be a Shabbat, a day of rest of all rests, and you need to pronounce it as a holy, different day. And all kinds of work you should not do on Shabbat, and it shall be for God, and it shall be for all those who live in the community. Thank you, all of you who visited or lived in Israel. You can sit down, because my next one, I hope, will be a more select crew. I've got to wait for you to sit down, otherwise, well, I suppose you can just keep coming back. Okay, so Ya'amod, kol she'ohev le'chol matzah, levarech et haTorah. So I asked, Shmuel understood, I asked everyone to come and bless the Torah who likes to eat matzah. You see, I knew that would cut lots of you out. So you like matzah? You like matzah? You like matzah? Dan, you like matzah? Okay. We discovered, Dean and I, that Franklin really likes matzah. We were very surprised by that. Okay, so we've only got one adult who likes matzah. You are alone in your field, Dan. Alone in your field. Okay, so all of you, are you ready? I can't really offer this blessing because I really do not like matzah. It really is the bread of affliction as far as I'm concerned. So, are we ready? But I will help you with the blessing. Baruch hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'alim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Didn't see you sneak in there, Natasha. Another matzah lover. Okay, listen out. Yeah? You're listening out for Shabbat, for Malacha, for Pesach, for Matzah, for Matzot. Okay? And another word I'd like you to listen out for is the number 7, Shiva or Shivat. Ele modei Adonai mikraei kodesh asher tikra'u otam b'moadah b'chodesh harishon ba'arba asa lechodesh bein ha'arvim Pesach l'Adonai. Pesach, thank you. Oh yeah, that's good you've got that there, George. Uv'chamisha asa yom lechodesh hazeh ha'matzot l'Adonai Shivat Yamim. Thank you. 7. Shivat Yamim Matzot Tochlu Vayom Harishon Mikra Kodesh Yeh Lechem Kol Malechet, which is Malacha, Malechet, Avodah. It's a very gentle. Avodah Lo Ta'asu V'higraftem Shel Adonai Shivat Yamim B'yom Hashvi'i Mikra Kodesh Kol Malechet Avodah Lo Ta'asu. So these are the consecrated times for God that will be holy gatherings that you should pronounce, all of you. These, and you should pronounce these gatherings, all of you. So in the first month, which is a month of Nisan, which is the number 1 month in the Hebrew calendar, even though the Jewish New Year is Rosh Hashanah in the 7th month, but in the first month that we know as Nisan, on the 14th day of the month, it shall be, like between the evenings, it shall be the Pesach, the Passover festival for God. And on the 15th day of the month, it shall be for you the festival of Matzah. Like, as we know, it's the whole festival of Matzah for God. 7 days you shall eat Matzah. And on the first day of this, it shall be a holy convocation, a festival, which is why we always have a festival morning service the first day. And you cannot do any kind of work. You should not do it. Rather, and remember this is biblical times, you shall bring a burnt offering instead to God. Luckily we have the services now instead. And all on those 7 days, and on those throughout those 7 days, you should offer. And on the 7th day, it should be another holiday, another holy convocation. And you should not do any work. You want to close with your blessing, you matzah lovers. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam et ha'atoteinu Baruch atah Adonai noten
HaTorah. Amen.
Yeshua, all of you. So I'm going to ask you, David, to come and to raise the scroll. Yeah. Should be. Let's stand up.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Ve'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtatavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtatavu lehar kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtatavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtatavu lehar kosho.
So we're going to stay standing for another minute while we offer our prayers for the community. Thank you. I'm going to stay standing, and in a minute I'm going to ask George and Cordelia to share what we learned about this morning was the establishment of the State of Israel, the dreams and hopes that it had to be a Mensch-like country. And we're going to hear some of the words from that early Declaration of Independence signed in the Independence Hall in Tel Aviv in 1948. But first, I really wanted to offer our community blessings today. Normally, I give it out. I am so delighted to see Barry J., who has been so unwell for a while, and we've offered prayers for you, Barry, to see you in the service this morning. That can only be a good thing for you to be here with us from home, I hope, I think. So I am going to pause in the middle of our community prayers to allow us just a moment to consider if there is anyone that we are thinking of that needs our thoughts, our care, anyone who is looking after someone that needs that, so that we can just have a moment of sending our good wishes, strength, and love that way. Eternal God, we ask your blessing on our Queen Elizabeth and all the royal family, as well as those who govern our country. Guide them with a spirit of wisdom and compassion, so that they care for the citizen and stranger, and bring benefit to all the inhabitants of our land and the world. Bless all our brothers and sisters of the house of Israel, of this our synagogue. Bless this congregation, all of its members and friends. Be with those who seek your presence and all in need of healing, spiritual or physical. Let them know you are near to comfort and sustain them. I'm just going to pause to see if anyone wants to name Anyone who has been unwell? Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, Joan.
My sister, hold on.
Charlie. Your brother. Anthony. Yep. Okay. So we think of all those who need our care, our concern. Let them, if not managing a refuah shlema, a full healing, let them feel the benefit of the healing that they can manage and of the love of those who care for them. And George and Cordelia, rather than our traditional prayer for the state of Israel, would really love if you came up here to use the microphone to share these words from the Declaration of Independence.
The state of Israel will be open to immigration of Jews from all countries of their dispersion. Will promote the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. Will be based on the principles of liberty, justice and peace as conceived by the prophets of Israel.
Where are we?
Will uphold
the full social and political equality of all its citizens, without distinction of religion, race or sex. Will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, education and culture. Will safeguard the holy places of all religions and will loyally uphold the principles of the United Nations Charter.
Thank you for sharing those words. And may we be reminded of those noble hopes, and may we bless Israel this morning. May this Shabbat renew our energy to build and sustain a better world and to deepen our gratitude of so much that surrounds us. And let us all say, Amen. So we are over the page. You can go down. Thank you. We are on page 29. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai ki nizgab shamo levado.
Odo al eretz v'shamayim v'yarem keren le'amo tehila l'chol chasidav b'nei Yisrael Mankarova. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
So we're going to offer Tree of Life, and we are reminded of the words above our ark, Eitz Chaim Hi L'Machazikim Ba. It is a tree of life, and it must be Torah that we're being told is a tree of life if you hold on to it.
It is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it and order its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it and order its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it and order its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it and order its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
So let's stay standing as we go to the end of our service. And I believe the last prayer that you are introducing, Dalad Hay, is Aleinu. So maybe teachers, if you know who's meant to be coming up to introduce Dalad Hay, to introduce Aleinu. Very good. Thanks for waiting, Annie.
We think Elena is about cherish what you have and don't go away thinking everything is bad.
Nice. I like that.
I think it's about the world becoming greater and greater until it becomes paradise, like Eden.
I think people being strong and kind to others.
Nice. And now why you like this prayer?
I like the line, and then the needs of some will give away to the needs of many, because people shouldn't be greedy, they should be generous and share what they have with the less fortunate.
Nice.
I like the line, and then both men and women will be strong, and then both men and women will be gentle, because it's important to be inclusive of everyone, and there aren't really that much, in the Siddur there isn't that much about women.
Thank you, Phoebe.
I like the line, and then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth, because it is important to look after the planet and the people around us.
Thank you so much, girls. You've really brought so much to this prayer, which we will go into straight away. Which teacher's writing is that? Is that Maya? Rather amazing writing. Thank you. Good to know. Let's go straight into Aleinu on page 33.
עלינו לשבח גם אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו ליחד את שמו, ותורה עלינו להמליך מלכותו. אין עוד, 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 אין עוד. אנחנו קוראים משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, שתיקת חוצו וגוני מרומים, הוא אלוהינו. אין עוד, 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 אין עוד. אמת מלכנו את בסולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, 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 אין עוד.
Beautiful. And just so you know where those amazing young girls were responding to, I'm going to ask us to read the alternative Aleinu that was created by the artist Judy Chicago. Page 34. Let's read responsively with each other. So I'm going to suggest that this side of the room reads the first line with Dean, and the second side of the room reads the second line with me.
And then all that has divided us will merge.
And then compassion will be wedded to power.
And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind.
And then both men and women will be gentle.
And then both men and women will be strong.
And then no person will be subject to another's will.
And then all will be rich and free and varied.
And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many.
And then all will equally share in the earth's abundance.
And then we will all care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will cherish the young.
And then all will cherish life's creatures.
And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth.
And then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
Thank you. So as we go towards the Kaddish, we think of those who are marking a yahrzeit this Shabbat. We think of Alan Aarons, husband of Sheila, father of Beverly, of Margaret Davis, aunt of Eleanor Davis, of Mark Dalton Eldridge, husband of Charlotte Dalton Eldridge, of Stanley Lister, father of Adrian Lister, of Rudy Oppenheimer, brother-in-law of Corinne Oppenheimer, of Ruthie Samuel, wife of Igal Samuel, of Brenda and Russell Smith, parents of Simon Smith, and of Andrew Staker, father of Dean Staker. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and may those who remember and recall their loved ones be comforted in their loss as we say the words of Kaddish with them. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'yama divra hirte v'yamlich malchutei, b'hayechon v'yomechon, v'haye dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ha'omer maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitada v'yitale v'talal shemei d'kudusha brichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiram b'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru. Amen. Let's sit down before we finish our service with Od Yavor Shalom Aleinu, and Paula will share announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom to everyone at home. Thank you very much to everybody who contributed to our very creative and engaging the service this morning. So, of course, to Rebecca and Dean, but also to Natasha and Sam. Really great to have you here, Sam, playing. And to our tech desk and our online hosts. And I've sat on the tech desk today for the first time, and I'm just really overwhelmed by the skill, actually, and I don't think I could ever do what they do. It's quite unbelievable. And thank you to our Every Hour students this morning for illuminating and giving us your thoughts on the prayers. It was really lovely to hear you, and to our teachers for helping them prepare so beautifully. There's just a few little announcements this morning. So tomorrow morning we have Cafe Ivriar with Adrian. It's sort of I'm not quite sure what the theme is, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of chat and plenty of things to say. And then this week there are usual activities: Hebrew with Ofra, morning meditation, adult B'nai Mitzvah class, delving, and Beit Midrash. It's a busy week. And then one thing coming up, just of note, which is on Sunday, the 22nd of May. It's the day of celebration for liberal Judaism, and the information is on the email and it's in Shofar, and it's being held at the LJS, and the theme is where liberal and Judaism meet. So what is it to be a liberal Jew, and what is it to be a Jewish liberal Jew? And there's going to be some really wonderful keynote speakers. So Sarah Nathan, who's the co-founder of Refugees at Home, she will be speaking, and our own Paul Anticone, the chief executive of World Jewish Relief, on what we can do to assist in the refugee crisis. And then during the day, there's other tracks that you can follow. You can do Ask the Rabbi, hot potato debates, art and culture, social justice. So it does sound like a really fantastic day. And then for our young people, there is a whole day of LJY Netza programming as well going on. So it is a day for everybody. And just on that note, I wanted to welcome Joe. Oh, there's Joe. Hi, from LJY Netza, who is a movement worker. And we're delighted to have you here this morning. I think you joined Family Learning this morning. So, and I think you're going to be around during Kiddush to talk to families about your fantastic LJY Netza programs, which we highly recommend. Both my children have been on all your programs and love it, as did I. So Joe will be around to chat to families this morning. Is there anything that I
think
missed?
Joe's going to hop on now.
Wonderful,
and say a
even
couple of
better.
things. Why waste the opportunity?
Hi everyone, thank you very much for having me and nice to meet some of you briefly. Just to echo what was just said, I'm from LJY Netza. We run youth camps for kids aged 8 to 15 and also Israel tour and lots of miscellaneous stuff. I'd love to tell you about Kadima, which is our summer camp for 2 weeks, which is coming up very soon. And if you or your kids would like a taster of what we do, as was said, the Day of Celebration is a really good opportunity to tune in and see what we're about. We're very inclusive. We're like a warm, positive environment where people can celebrate their Jewish heritage among other liberal Jews. So yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Raphael, Alex, Maya, I think Shmuel have all had great times on Kadima, and I think we'll do a lot of positive chat to you as they serve you your falafel at Kiddush. Let us end with Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, of which it's very easy, these words. Od Yavo
Od Yavo
Shalom Aleinu, which means it will come upon us. What's Shalom? What does it mean? Peace. And then 2 extra words. Salam, which is peace in Arabic. Salam. Shalom. I think we can do it. And just a reminder to those at home and here, it's an adult class starting on Thursday night with me and Rabbi Renee Fertzel on Mussar. Finding comfort in an unsettled world. And we're looking at the amazing tradition of mindfulness and Mussar in Judaism. That's 7:30 online every Thursday for the next 6 weeks. So it'll be lovely to see you. Check the email. And for now, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, you can smell the falafel.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al Salam Aleinu ve'al Olam, Salam, Salam, Salam Aleinu ve'al Olam, Salam, Salam Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al Olam, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al Olam, Salam Aleinu ve'al Olam, Salam, Salam, Salam Aleinu ve'al Olam, Salam, Salam.
So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As you start, Ivriya, blessing, we didn't do. So, because of COVID, you're going to head your way to the tables at the back for Kiddush. We are going to offer a blessing to you as you make your way there. Grab your Kiddush cups. And Dean and I will offer Kiddush from here, but you need to be at the back. And the blessing for all of us in whatever we go on our way to do whether we are thinking of Israel, whether we're thinking about our Judaism, whether we might try camp for the first time this summer. Adonai yishmor tzecha uvoecha me'ata va'ad olam. May the Eternal One guard your going out and your coming in, now and forever.
Amen.
Let's go straight into Kiddush.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz, Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Teavon, teachers, are you setting up your falafel bar? We are coming your way.